I'm gonna give it a few seconds. Good evening. It's not Saturday this time around. This time around it's Friday, because this is a special hot pick from Lewd, that being me, formerly known as Yaro. But anywho, the thing at hand is the Game Awards winners and announcements and all the new stuff that we've seen on the show last night, this morning, for me anyway. So yeah, I just wanted to make like a special recap of the things. I also checked like the news that came out from this week, and there's not really anything I want to talk about too much. Nothing too crazy happened there. So yeah, there's gonna be one video about the Game Awards right now, and then I guess on Sunday, because I'm gonna be gone for all of Saturday pretty much, and I guess on Sunday, before or after we play some Monster Hunter World open beta or PlayStation Plus beta, I'm probably gonna make another video about whatever happens at PlayStation Experience. That happens in about what is this? Like 11 hours from now, 12 hours from now. So yeah, we'll see about that. But the topic at hand today is the Game Awards 2017 winners. Why don't I take a look at these first? Because we took a look at the nominees, right? And I had my predictions, and I had my favorites, and I had my personal picks. So I want to compare them to what actually happened. And I gotta say, it's not too bad actually. This year's Game Awards was definitely better, just as I was expecting. Because just looking at the nominees, you know, this year's Game Awards definitely were a huge step up. Apart from some exceptions, of course. I'm sure by now you've been witness to the jet lag Joseph, who stole the show, so to speak. Not in the positive sense, I guess. He literally stole the show, and he stole more time than he was allocated. But you know, whatever. Let's take a look at the winners. So, Game of the Year went to Zelda Breath of the Wild. That's Aonuma's words, not me. He called it Breath of the Wild. Okay, he did it, not me. I'm not gonna argue with him. So from these nominees, I'm like, yeah, I don't really care who wins this, because Persona 5 is definitely not my Game of the Year. I don't think Persona 5 is a good game. It's definitely not the Game of the Year material for me anyway. So I was like, yeah, Horizon, PUBG, Mario Odyssey. I wasn't really invested in this category at all. So I was like, yeah, whatever, give it to whoever you want. And though I gotta say, I'm probably a bit disappointed maybe that it's not Horizon, maybe? Because Horizon, in my eyes, is a bit more unique. Like, Zelda is like another 3D Zelda. It looks like Zelda game. You do really Zelda stuff. Nothing like new or fresh happens in that game, right? Like, at a glance. But Horizon, you got freaking robot dinosaurs? I mean, that's pretty cool. So I would give it to something that's a bit more fresh than, you know, very traditional game, but I don't know, I guess it's pretty good. Either who, like I said, I wasn't very invested in this category, so like, alright, whatever. Best game direction, I really wanted to Resident Evil 7 to get this, because, especially after seeing the GDC video about Resident Evil 7 direction, I was like, yeah, these guys knew what they were doing. They learned from, I don't want to say their mistakes, because in my eyes, Resident Evil 4, 5, and 6 were not mistakes at all. I love those games. So I'm like, yeah, but they did learn from the previous entries, so they wanted to do something new, something fresh, you know? Just as I'm talking about that just now. So the first 3 games were like fixed camera angles, the second 3 games were like third-person shooters, and now they wanted to do something new, right? So that's exactly what they did, and you know, it turned out real well. It also works beautifully as a VR game. So I really was hoping for them to get it, but you know, I guess Zelda is that good, and the direction was that good. You know, the chief complaint I hear about Zelda Breath of the Wild is that the item durability is extremely low. And that's all I hear about that game. So I'm like, I don't know about the game direction. Also, game direction is like a really vague category, so it's like whatever. From the other nominees, I can't really tell much of anything here. So yeah, I guess whatever, I'll allow it. Best narrative went to What Remains of Edith Finch. I've heard a lot about this when it first came out, you know, in the podcast and stuff. It's not my kind of game because it's like the walking simulator and stuff like that. But I haven't really heard anything about like video game narrative and mechanics narrative kind of thing, so I'm a bit surprised about this one, considering with a Hellblade and Nier Automata, which both have video game narrative in it. So yeah, not really sure about this one, but I haven't played this, so I can't really speak to it. Whatever. It's at least it's a very like a unique game from an like a kind of unusual genre. So at least there's some representation there, you know. So I guess I'm okay with this. But now we get to the categories that I'm happy about. All right. Best art direction went to Cuphead. Beautiful. I could not pick a better damn fucking game. Cuphead's art direction is leagues and bounds the most unique and most faithfully crafted, I guess, or more like maybe consistently. It's just beautiful, man. It's awesome. I'm really happy for Cuphead to receive this. Best music went to Nier Automata, which also I'm really very happy about, because as much as Persona 5 is like is good, I guess, I really feel like it's weaker than the other Persona games on the music front. And especially when you compare it to Nier Automata, that is the soundtrack of the year, you know. And this is specifically music and and score, so that's for Nier. Now audio design, they actually didn't announce this on stream. It was like an off remark. They have a bunch of categories like this, which they don't put on stage, and they just like offhandedly say, oh yeah, and they also won this. And it's like nobody notices this at all. You have to read this up. They also didn't announce the fighting game of the year. They just offhandedly announced that, as Ed Boon, the game director of Injustice 2, came on stage to announce something. And we're like, yeah, Ed Boon's gonna present this thing, and also Injustice 2 won final game of the year, by the way. But here's the prize for this category. So I don't know who noticed this, but I did. But I really had to pay attention to that shit. Also, hey Portable, what's up, man? So best audio design went to Hellblade, which I really wanted Hellblade to win this, because I haven't played the game myself, but from what I have seen, the audio design specifically is extremely strong in that game, because the main character has like the mental issues kind of thing, and you hear the whispers and all the voices and stuff like that, and it just all melds into one fucking cacophony of voices. And that, I feel like that game, if you play that with headphones, it's gonna be a really fucking amazing experience of a game. So I'm pretty excited to play that game eventually. It's definitely on my list. As far as audio design for like Destiny, I don't know, it's like gun sounds, I guess. I mean, those are good gun sounds, especially like there's like a different sounds for like the distance and the environment. But I don't know, best audio design of the year, I'm glad that Hellblade got this. Best performance, again, I'm very happy that Myrna Jurgens as Senua got it, because all these people, they're just voice acting, alright? They're just doing the voice. But Myrna Jurgens, she did the mocap also, not just the voice. Then again, I guess to be fair, I suppose Claudia Black and Laura Bailey from Uncharted, they also probably did the motion capture, most likely. However, they are portraying a much less interesting and much less unique role, so yeah, I think this is very well deserved. I mean, as I was streaming this, and I was like, Brian Bloom is BJ Blazkowicz? You cannot be fucking serious. BJ Blazkowicz is easily one of the most boring things I've seen. I mean, I haven't played Wolfenstein 2, but from what I hear, it's the same thing as Wolfenstein 1, The New Order. And that game, let me tell you, but BJ is really the worst part of the game, easily. The worst part of the writing and, the whole story. At least that's how I feel anyway. He's like super sad about everything, and he's like super melodramatic about his own like monologues and shit. And it just, I wasn't even sure what the game is trying to be. Is that like a serious game? Is it a comical game? Is it like a black humor thing? Is it satirical? I couldn't tell because the tones were clashing so much with his monologues. And the same thing appears to be for the second game, so I don't know what's going on there. Anyway, Games for Impact Award. Again, I wasn't sure about like Life is Strange, the Before the Storm, because I think this whole thing isn't even out yet. Because there was like a third chapter or something. I don't know how many there are, but I feel like it's not fully out yet. All the episodes. I don't know about anything about the other games. And also Life is Strange, I feel like, from what I hear, again, it's like the subject matter is less interesting than the first Life is Strange. So I'm like, I don't know about this. Again, I'm happy that Hellblade got all these awards. I'm super happy for Hellblade. I'm super happy. And now my first unhappy category, Best Ongoing Game, went to Overwatch? Alright, it's still better than if it went to Destiny 2 because the game literally just came out. So it's like best ongoing game for a game that came out like 2 months ago? I don't think so, bro. That's not cool. Overwatch being a game with loot boxes, I don't like this as a best ongoing game, especially when the whole show talked shit about loot boxes several times. So I'm like, hey, I'm getting some sort of mixed messages here. Who voted for this? Did you guys not get your messages straight? Rainbow Six Siege, I heard a lot about having like substantial updates that improve the game by a whole lot. So that would be a good pick as well. PUBG isn't even out yet, so I feel pretty not okay with this being even here in the first place. Because, you know, you need to release the game and then you need to improve the game over a degree of time, right? And PUBG isn't even out. So, also, when it comes to PUBG, I'm kind of okay with it being the nominee for the Game of the Year because it's a huge phenomenon. You can buy the game, technically. So, alright, I'll allow it, but it better not get nominated next year when the game is fully released because that's cheating, alright? You can put it 2 years in the same categories if it's in early access and then it gets fully released. That's not cool. Grand Theft Auto Online. It's also an interesting nominee here because there's been a whole bunch of updates and DLCs that add in a lot of content. So that's cool. But I'm really sad that Warframe didn't get it because Warframe is an old game by this point. And the updates that it received wasn't just content. It was substantial changes to like everything. The UI, the fucking mission structure, the mission types, the amount of then there's the content, the amount of weapons, the amount of warframes, and then they added the open world map, and then they also released the weather system for the open world map. And they also gave you originally the ship in which is your hub where you like do all your crafting and upgrading and customization and, you know, picking the missions and all that stuff. That wasn't even in the game at first. That was part of an update. That's crazy. And also you get to create your own character after a certain point, which was also part of the update. It's just, obviously, to me, Warframe is the clear winner of this category, but, you know, it's Overwatch, so I guess it's the same kind of idea that Zelda here is. I don't know. I'm not sure. Can be Game of the Year 2 years in a row. Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah, it makes sense to me, right? Game of the Year. Game of the Years. Maybe there should be a separate category. The Game of the Year, that was the Game of the Year last year also. That's a bit of a doozy of a title, I guess. Anyway, let's move on. Best mobile game. I don't know anything about this. Kind of surprised that Fire Emblem Heroes didn't get it, but maybe the idea here is that they didn't want to give it to yet another gacha game that autoplays itself, which is fair enough. Monument Valley 2 is more unique in that regard. It's like a mobile game that's actually a game also, which I can appreciate. Best handheld game, I'm not invested in this any at all because it's all Nintendo stuff. And I'm trying to think what came out on the Vita this year, but I'm not even sure. Probably some Atelier game, but that's way too Japanese. There's no way that's gonna get nominated ever. And I guess Tolkien 2 came out, but I'm not sure if the Vita version came out in the West. I think it did, but it was digital only. And also the port I don't think is very good. Probably. I didn't even try the demo on the Vita, since I got the PS4 and all that stuff. But pretty sure Tolkien 2 is better on the Vita than Monster Hunter Stories. You know, that's just my point of view anyway. Best VR game, I don't even know how these other guys could possibly compete with Resident Evil 7. Resident Evil 7 is like the best VR game I've ever seen. And I haven't seen that many games. So, I guess that's not saying much, but the only other thing that I could see it is probably Super Hot VR. But it's not like a fully fledged game, it's like a very arcade thing. But Resident Evil 7, that's a fully featured fucking game. You got your fucking story mode, you got all the DLC stuff, that's like an extra. Yeah, this is a fully fledged fully fledged game. And it's fully in VR. It's like the only example I can think of that's like a real game in VR. So that's cool. Isn't Breath of the Wild a handheld game? Well, it can be. But not primarily, I don't think so. And now the biggest fucking disappointment and surprise for me. Best action game went to Wolfenstein 2? I don't understand how is this possible. I don't understand. Considering the other nominees being Cuphead, Destiny 2, Nioh, and Prey, all of these games are better action games than fucking Wolfenstein 2, as far as I'm concerned. I really don't understand how this got the winning pick. I don't get it. I don't understand. I played Wolfenstein New Order and it was boring as fuck. I didn't see anything interesting in there. Very few enemy types. I didn't know what the tone was going for, if it was melodramatic or dramatic or satirical and all that stuff like I talked about previously. The characters, I don't remember any of their names. I don't get it. I don't understand how is Wolfenstein this popular, especially when I compare it to Doom 2016 that I played after I played New Order. I was like, wow man, this is like a first-person shooter that's awesome and unrelenting and it's like a proper shooter. With Wolfenstein, I was just forcing myself to play through the damn game. And I did not hear all that much positive things about Wolfenstein 2. Like some people say that it's not as good as the first one. And I didn't even like the first one that much. But anyway, so I don't get it. I don't understand this one, but you know, whatever. Did Bethesda sponsor the event? I mean, I guess everybody sponsored the event, you know. that's my initial like a guess. That all the companies that you can see here probably in some sort of fashion promoted and sponsored the whole event. Because, I mean, let's face it. It's the Game Awards, right? Maybe Team Ninja didn't do anything. Nah. It can't be that rigged, right? I mean, we've seen the other winners, like Hellblade won 3 awards and Nier Automata won the music, so there's gotta be some people who know what they're like talking about, right? Because there are some really good picks here, and the nominees are strong in general. So, but this is just a super weird. I don't know. Action adventure game. They also didn't announce this on stage. They just offhandedly like mentioned this during something else, and it's again Breath of the Wild. And the other games, I'm like, yeah, it's like the same games in several categories. It's like, It's kind of weird, man. Best action adventure? I feel like action game and action adventure are weird categories to, isolate from each other. There should be like at this point, there should be an action game and best FPS game, right? That makes sense. I don't know. It's weird to me. I'm trying to like think about the action adventure thing, but these categories are weird. Now, best RPG. I don't know what the hell is Final Fantasy 15 doing here, because the game came out last year. It's not 2017 game, so I don't get it. But I'm pretty alright with the Persona 5 winning this, because Nier Automata isn't much of an RPG, to be honest. And Divinity Original Sin 2, man, that would have been a good pick as well. So, personally, I'm happy that a Japanese game won something, finally. I don't know if Final Fantasy, if there was like a different JRPG that ever won anything like this during these Jeff Keighley Awards, but, I'm happy about Persona 5 winning. It's good stuff. DK Jorda back with the speculation. Did you do research and then found out about Kwon, or did you actually play Kwon? Because I played Kwon, that was a cool game, and that Spin Lee thing does not fit into that game too much, I don't think. Live with the genre speculation. I'm pretty sure Assassin's Creed is an action-adventure game. Pretty sure. I mean, it's pretty much the same thing as Horizon Zero Dawn and Zelda, so that's an action-adventure game. And there's platforming too. I really don't see Kwon being revitalized. I mean, it would be cool though, because you would get to play a Miko fighting Japanese folklore creatures. That'd be cool. But personally, we're gonna get to that later. Guys, you're getting me sidetracked. Best fighting game was announced offhandedly when Ed Boon was coming on stage, so that's Injustice 2. I'm not surprised by this, because Injustice 2, as much as I'm not a big fan of the gameplay itself, it's a good fucking fighting game, and it's fully featured. You got tons of fucking content for not just like multiplayer, but also single player. The story mode is pretty massive and very well executed, so I'm not surprised by this. Personally, I would have preferred to see Tekken 7 because I love this game so much, but when you compare the product, Injustice 2 is definitely a better product for a video game player. So, there you go. Best family game, I don't give a shit. Best strategy, Mario and Rabbids Kingdom Battle on this shit? I mean, I guess. XCOM 2 War of the Chosen is an expansion, so it's not exactly a game. And Warhammer 2 is probably too complicated for most people, so I guess it makes sense. It's the mainstream choice, I suppose. South Park didn't win Best RPG. Yeah, I played a little bit of the first South Park RPG, and I liked the mechanics, I liked the systems in the game, but I think I just don't appreciate South Park anymore. The humor is not my cup of tea anymore. There's too much puking and shitting and stuff like that, and I'm like, it's just disgusting. I don't find it too funny anymore. Right, best sports and racing game. Okay, I don't care about this either. Best multiplayer game is not announced. Well, I guess we don't have a winner for this, but I also don't care about this. Most anticipated game, Last of Us Part 2. Ugh. Really? You got God of War, Monster Hunter World, and Red Dead Redemption 2, and you give it to Last of Us? Well, I'll just say that I disagree with this, and I'll leave it at that. These three games are way more exciting to me than Last of Us Part 2, because Last of Us, as much as I enjoyed the game, and I played through it twice. I'm really not excited about part 2 at all. It's like I don't really see it doing anything new or fresh, and I'm all about the freshness, you know. Also, Red Dead Redemption 2 is kind of not that exciting to me because the trailer they have shown kind of looked like the same thing, except a little bit prettier, and it's cool, I guess. God of War, they're doing something new there. It's not gonna be the same God of War we have grown to like and enjoy from the PS2 and PS3. And Monster Hunter World is the same thing except with much better graphics. So Monster Hunter World, man, I'm looking forward to the beta on Sunday. Best independent game, Cuphead, very good. I'm very satisfied with this one. Hellblade would have been fine, Pyre would have been fine. Yeah, this is good stuff. Best student game, I don't know anything about this. Trending gamer went to Dr. Disrespect, which I'm not surprised about because I don't know who this guy is. I don't pay attention to him, but I know who he is and what he looks like. So that's probably what trending gamer is, right? I would have liked to see Clint Lexham in this because I really loved his Nier Automata speedrun with one hand. That was insane and cool. Also, his commentary was pretty good on stream, so that was alright. Yeah, I don't know what's up with sequels. I guess it's a combination of easy to reuse assets and brand recognition, and that's about it, I guess. Also, maybe like if it's a sequel to a game where you don't change technology, you're not just reusing assets, but you also really know the development process of the game, you know, the tools, because you've already made a game. So making a DLC for the game is much easier, and you don't need to worry about like, how are we gonna do this, how are we gonna do that. You can just think of ideas and put them in motion, you know. It's much easier that way. So if you're doing like another game, not just a DLC, but another new game, it's probably much not just easier to do a new game in the same engine, but it's also easier to do the game you want to do because, you know, like I said, you're familiar with the tools and you're much better prepared. So maybe they could do something more interesting with the second game, but I kind of doubt it. I think it's just gonna be the same thing, you know. It's gonna be very cinematic, and I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, I know how I feel about that, but, you know, I'm just putting it in a diplomatic way. Yeah, gameplay can be expanded in new IP. Well, then again, you're talking about taking risks, right? And, you know, we all know how big companies feel about taking risks of any kind. Best esports game. Okay, let's finish this. We can get to the speculation after this. Best esports game. I don't care about this. Best esports player. I don't see any Punk. I don't see any JDCR, so I don't care about this either. Best esports team is whatever. Best debut indie game went to Cuphead, which I'm pretty happy about as well. I did hear positive things about Golf Story, and it looks pretty cool. I might have to look at that. Hollow Knight. Obviously, you guys love the game, so that would be a nice pick as well. But I'm pretty happy that Cuphead is getting all these awards. And best Chinese game, I don't really think about that either. So all in all, I gotta say, this year's Game Awards were pretty good. I can't really talk shit about much of anything because it was enjoyable to watch. There was some dumb shit happening, which was funny. There were only like 2 categories which I was very unhappy about, but you know, whatever, who gives a shit. And the rest I thought was pretty decent. The nominees were good, the announcements and the new trailers were good, and we're gonna get to that. So, as far as announcements go, I am infinitely happy that Soul Calibur 6 is a thing, and it's coming to PS4, Xbox, and PC in 2018. This is awesome. You know, I was never a big fan of Tekken because I always preferred weapons in my games. So when I heard about Soul Calibur, The first time I played was Soul Calibur 3. Now, it took me many years and the internet to realize that Soul Calibur 3 is in fact totally garbage fighting game. I didn't know that at the time, so I loved the game and I played it a lot with my brother and like friends in real life and all that stuff. We played it a lot. It was really fun. I love Mitsurugi, so I'm glad to see him here. And yeah, it looks like fucking Soul Calibur 5, except with more particle effects and probably some slow motion action from Tekken 7, and I'm totally fucking okay with that. Looks pretty nice. It's true that I would maybe have expected the game to look a bit better than Tekken 7, but at the same time, I'm really happy that it kind of retains the Soul Calibur art direction, because I like how Soul Calibur looks. I'm okay with that. It looks cool. So this character though, right here, I have no idea who this is. I was thinking maybe like a Code Vein character, because this is Namco Bandai, but apparently this guy has been leaked and it's supposed to be Killick's rival, and he can actually like take apart the staff into two swords, which is believable because you can see each blade looking different. So he's gonna have two stances with the dual swords and then putting them together into the dual bladed staff, or whatever you're supposed to call this weapon. Could be cool. Sounds like a huge edgelord, so I'm okay with this guy. Should be alright. Also, I dig the thigh highs and the half cape and the Demotic Gauntlet, whatever this thing is. Should be alright. I'm interested in this guy. I'm also curious as to if this is a reboot or whatever, because despite having the number 6, everybody's pointing out how young Mitsurugi and Sophitia look. So yeah, could be cool, and it also could mean that Taki will be back, and I would like to see that. Also, what I would like to see being back in Soul Calibur 6 is thigh and butt jiggle physics. That's right. Soul Calibur 2 had thigh physics, and since then I have not seen it in any game besides Soul Calibur 2 and 3, and I guess maybe 4 and 5, but I'm not sure. I think actually they got rid of that in 4 and 5, and that's a big mistake if you ask me. More games need thigh physics, alright? We've seen boob physics fucking for decades. Decades? Maybe a decade, alright? But butt physics, those are very rare. And thigh physics are almost non-existent, and I don't like it. That is not okay. I do not approve of that idea. They always push the graphics, alright? They always push the graphics here and there. Fucking shadows and lighting and particle effects. Where's the body deformation? Where's the muscle deformation? And by muscle deformation, that's a development speak for boob physics, butt physics, and, you know, thigh physics. So give me that. Also, not just that, but also like flexing muscles, you know? That looks cool. And the only time I've seen flexing muscles that actually like expand when the person flexes and like uses the limbs is Red Dead Redemption 1 on the horse butt. The goddamn horses, when they gallop, their muscles flex and it looks awesome. Why is that the only game that has flexing muscles? I don't get it. Maybe it's really hard to implement. Either way, what we can see here from these screenshots actually is that this stage... Wait, actually, let me go back. If you observe this specific angle, what does this remind you of? Because when I look at the floor, this reminds me of Dark Souls 2, the Hide Flame, or whatever it was called. What was the area called, damn it? Flame of Hide? Hade Flame? Flame? Or whatever, you know, the part where you find the Dragon Slayer armor and you know, that stuff. And also you go to the No Man's Wharf and all that shit. Tower of Flame, was it called? Hyde's Tower of Flame, I think that was the name, right? Anyway, it really reminds me of that. So that's cool, because I like that area a lot. I mean, it's not the area, but it looks kind of the same. But more importantly, we can see different times of day. Either that, or it's some sort of weird full screen effect filter for different hits, which is also possible because we've seen that in Tekken. When you trade hits, there's like this crazy full screen filter. And then when you do these crazy special things, which are supposed to be like reversals or something, the whole screen dims and stuff. So yeah, I'm pretty fucking excited about this shit. I wanna play this. So 2018 already has Dragon Ball FighterZ and now Soul Calibur 6. Fuck yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I'm in. Alright, so next thing. Romancing Saga 2 for PS4, Xbone, Switch, PS Vita and PC launches next in a week. And now this is the kind of modern reimagining or like modern update to a 16-bit pixel art JRPG that I'm talking about. Because you've all seen the Final Fantasy 5 and 6 on Steam, right? It doesn't look great. Let me tell you that. I don't think it looks like completely unplayable, but it definitely doesn't look better than the old graphics. But this here thing, that's what I'm talking about. This is how you remaster an old RPG with like modern graphics or like modern update to the pixel art. This looks exactly what I'm talking about. So I never played Romancing Saga 2. I think I played some Saga game, but I don't remember which it was exactly. Also, the English localization names are all out of whack. They almost never call them Saga. They call them something weird, or maybe I'm mistaking them for something else. But anyway, Saga games, as far as I know, they're known for like weird ass mechanics that are pretty unusual for JRPGs. So it takes a while to get used to them. And there's also like a Romancing Saga 3 remaster, and there's also one other. It was Scarlet Grace. I think that's one of these Saga games. There was on the Vita. Came out I think last year in Japan, and I'm kind of hoping for that to come out in the West eventually somehow, because that game looked pretty interesting too as far as mechanics go. And apparently there are like choices that shape the story in some way. I'm pretty interested in this. I will go and play this at some point for sure, especially if it looks like this. You know, let's take a look at the pictures. Man, this is how you fucking update pixel art stuff. You know, I want to see the pixels. I want the pixels to cut my eyes. I want them to be that sharp. And you can see the fucking pixels here. I'm really happy about this. This is exactly what I like to see. Get that bilinear filtering out of here. Or bilinear, or whatever the fuck you're supposed to pronounce that shit. Get that shit out of here. Give me the pixels. Give me the unfiltered pixel art, alright? I'll take it. Juicy. Formations. Oh yeah! That's right, Last Remnant is actually kinda sorta successor to the Saga games. And Last Remnant has some weird ass mechanics. It's a mega complicated game. And I loved it when I played it. I kinda wanna play it again. You know, every time I remember about Last Remnant, I'm like, man, I should play it again. Because there's some of my favorite characters too. There are some really cool people in that game. Especially Emma. Emma is the best girl. Damn. Alright. Alright, let me get through. We got some other some more stuff, and then we can speculate. So, From Software releasing the tease. Man, when I watched this, I was so massively blue-balled. I was like, From Soft? Okay, cool. We got kanji in the background. You know, to me, this looks like some sort of like somebody's looking at their arm, and the arm is like mechanical and something, and then he's like you know, stretching the rope or something. It kind of makes me think of Gus and his gun arm, you know, as he like tugs on a string to shoot the arm. Something like that, you know, I'm getting that vibe from this. But we do have the kanji in the background, so I don't know, man. This could be so many things, it's not even funny. Update from Software's Yasuhiro Kitao has tweeted more details to follow in the next 12 months. Dude, if this is all we're getting until E3, I'm gonna be pissed. Alright? I'm hoping for more information for like the rest of the trailer at PlayStation Experience. But I don't know, man. The only other acceptable case for me would be we don't see more of this at PSX, but we see more of whatever else is From doing. Because I wanna fucking know, man. I wanna know what the hell is From doing. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one here. You don't need to tell me, you don't need to show me anything. You don't need to show me any trailers, you don't need to show me gameplay, you don't need to show me screenshots. Just tell me, what the fuck are you doing? Man. Goddamn. It's like a gif of a girl that starts taking off her shirt but never does. Exactly. Hence the blue balls. Alright, now, I'm not gonna spend too much time on this because we could make an entire fucking 2-hour video on this, but Capcom just low-key revealed all the V-triggers, all the new V-triggers for all characters, just in a tweet, and I'm like, what the hell? Didn't you do the... whatever. They did a stream, it was a blow-up because it wasn't exactly what people wanted to see, but, you know, I skimmed through this and there's some interesting changes here, but it remains to be seen whether they're going to be as useful as the previous V-triggers, and also how the first V-triggers will change in the Season 3, which will happen probably in January, the update, because in January the Arcade Edition is coming out, and we're gonna get all the V-triggers in the Arcade update. So there's probably also gonna be rebalances, and they're gonna have to change stuff, because, you know, especially with Urian, everybody keeps saying, why the hell would I not pick my mirrors? So they gotta give good reason for, you know, the options. Some of the new V-triggers are less interesting. They're like, you can use more moves, or you can use certain moves more often, or like in a combo, and it's not all that interesting. Then again, it opens up possibilities for like further combo building, so it's not gonna be just, you know, with Cammy I have like 2 combos that I can use, and that's about it. Street Fighter 5 is not really about combos, so that's the whole thing, and that's a lot of people's problem with the game. And these V-triggers are promising more extensions. I'm pretty excited about this. So personally, I'm waiting for a Sajam or somebody that's like an expert on breaking down of these things to break these things down. Obviously, we're gonna need some videos because just picture and description is not enough. So at PSX, I think it's supposed to be playable, so I'm expecting some videos from there. And now the last, most exciting thing for me from the Game Awards, Death Stranding, the movie, the trailer. This was really cool, and the whole time I was just glued to the fucking screen because everything that happens here is weird as heck, and there's so much packed into every scene that I'm pretty sure I could just watch this 9-minute thing or 8-minute thing over and over and just keep finding new details in this, and that is exciting to me. It's extremely mysterious. There's so many things you could interpret from this. There's so many, this is such huge potential. But we still don't know what the game is, so that's extremely frustrating, right? We don't know what the hell this is. We don't know what the world is. We don't know what's going on. We don't know what the game is. We don't know anything. He has shown us, Kojima has shown us like 20 minutes of the game. And we have no idea what it is. I think, I'm all for mysteries and shenanigans and, you know, just going deep into the crazy ride of long scenes with Mr. Kojima. Because I love those things. But there's gotta be a point where you actually start getting an idea what the hell's going on. Either with the story, or the world, or the game. And we don't know anything about either of those three things. And that might be a problem. You know, my favorite part about this whole thing, this whole movie, is this guy. Okay, no, this is my second favorite part. My second favorite part. This guy here, he's rapidly aging. And I don't understand why! But this guy, as he's stuck here under the whatever thing, and they're trying to rescue him, he ages rapidly. And it's really interesting. I love that kind of thing. Can you see it on stream? If not, I hope you guys are either have seen it already, like, you know, at your leisure, or you will check it out later. He's all gray hair now. Also, the baby being like an ESP like a sensor for the creatures is weird as fuck, and it's an interesting idea. You know, Kojima is full of interesting ideas, not just for the story, but also for mechanics, for video game mechanics, and then how to combine these two things. He's always done a great job at it, I felt anyway. So I'm a big fan of Kojima. So that's why Metal Gear Solid 5 left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth, because he kind of let go of all those things, and, you know, just it wasn't MGS5 wasn't Kojima enough for me, you know. That's the thing. I was excited for long ass dialogues and scenes and cutscenes, you know, movies like that, and then having the cool gameplay and some like a video game narrative. But it didn't happen. I mean, there is some video game narrative in MGS5 when you are finding the cure for Wolbachia. That was fucking awesome. That was a really intense and urgent part of the game. That was exciting. But that was the only thing. Everything else was just gameplay and tapes. And I fucking hate tapes, okay? I hate Peace Walker because of the damn tapes. The tape... See, the guy is now super old. Did you catch it? He's like a super grandpa right now. Oh my god, dude. I hate tapes. I hate tapes because they rob us of the damn cutscenes. And the cutscenes are cool. And it's not even a codec where you can see the facial expression of the people who are talking. It's just a picture in Peace Walker. And in MGS5, you don't even get the picture of the person who's talking. Man. I hate tapes. I hate tapes. I mean, if you use them like sparingly, it can work. Because even in MGS5, there are some tapes that are extremely strong because they are tapes. But most of them should have been either a dialogue that where you can see the people talking to each other, or they just shouldn't have even been there because they're just a filler material and they're not interesting. It's just fluff, and that's not cool. You despise MGS4 for the lack of good traditional MGS gameplay. You know, that's weird because MGS4 is one of my favorite when it comes to the gameplay. MGS4 has my favorite MGS gameplay. I mean, apart from MGS5. MGS5 is the best gameplay for me. But before MGS5, it was MGS4. Because I'm not a big fan of the top-down thing. I suck at those controls, and the stealth with the top-down thing, I just sucked at it. MGS3 has really awkward third-person controls, so I didn't like that either. But MGS4, the movement options you have are glorious. The octo camo is fun. So that's the weird thing. MGS4 for me, for the longest time, had the best gameplay, but there wasn't enough gameplay, I guess. And the levels were too linear. and this is my another favorite part of the fucking trailer. This is a fucking huge ass guy, and he's got Cthulhu hook tentacle mouth. Oh my god, yes, yes. Look at it, or maybe it's a hand. It looks like a hand, maybe with with multiple fingers, more than 5. No, wait, he's eating him. Right, it's definitely tentacle mouth. It's definitely tentacle mouth, and that's awesome. This game looks interesting. I am very intrigued. I want to see what's up. Also, one of the things I want to bring up here. So this is the last shot of the trailer, right? The last shot of Death Stranding trailer. You know where my mind went immediately when I saw this? It went to End of Evangelion, the movie. Right here. I mean, I'm not the only one who can see the resemblance, right? It's almost the same color scheme as well. That's awesome. So yeah, this trailer made me pretty happy, but still don't know what the game is. So that's kind of weird. But eventually we will see what the game is, hopefully, anyway. It's just dudes being in the air, you know? It's like the Red Dead Redemption glitch where the birds didn't load the bird textures or bird models, but they loaded up the human models. So you had people in the air being like just flying everywhere, floating in the air, just like this. But I'm kind of getting the sense that this is not a bug. This is probably supposed to be like this. And it's weird, and I love it. I love weird mysteries. So, pretty excited about this. So I guess that's it for the new stuff from the Game Awards and the winners. But we're not done yet. I also want to do some Capcom Cup stuff. Unless you guys got some more